Selling Online Today, featuring Jay from DJMdirect.com.
My mind's set on making net profit. From the start, make sure you're making money.
Making a great living by selling online is possible if you know who to turn to for help. Welcome to Selling Online Today, the show that features the winners of the online sales world sharing their stories of domination of eBay, Amazon, or their own sites. Here's your host, Patrick Conlin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Selling Online Today, the show that brings you everything you need to know to successfully sell online in today's changing environment. We get all sorts of great, fabulous businesses on the show. We're thrilled to have with us today Jay McFadden from DJM Direct. Hello, Jay.
Hello there, Patrick.
Now, Jay, in a nutshell, is a one-stop shop basically for everything home and garden, and started this business in 2004. They're based in Nelson in Lancashire. He has a great team around him. I'm going to just hand it right over to Jay so that he can fill us in on exactly what it is he does and how he got into this. Jay, take it away.
Yeah, well, I worked for a family business called Timothy Wood Limited, which was an ironmonger's based over in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. And we sold a vast range of products to trade and DIY to local contractors and councils. And then my father bought it in 2004, and he couldn't pick the worst time, really. 4 out of the top accounts fell into liquidation, engineering fell flat, so we had to look at other means outside of the Huddersfield area to get business in, and that's when I discovered eBay.
Okay.
So basically, I went to a sportsman's dinner. I drank far too much. I woke up the next day with a signed Wolverhampton top, and I thought there's not many Wolves fans in Rosendale. I've heard about eBay. So I put it on eBay and ended up selling it for more than I paid for it.
Oh, that's always a good start.
And the rest, as I say, is history. So, yeah, straight away, I mean, we found out, that it covers the whole of UK. I mean, you can go further afield than that. And it's open 24/7, which were brilliant. So we started off just dipping our toe in the water, so to speak. We sold power tools on there, large tool boxes. And it wasn't until quite a while later we started getting a little bit more serious with it. In 2011, my job was getting harder to service the accounts because the accounts weren't there to service. So we said, let's see what eBay can actually do. Mm-hmm. In October of that year, we outgrew our site over at Timothy Woods in Huddersfield, and we moved to a purpose-built warehouse here at Nelson in Lancashire. It's a 10,000-foot square warehouse, and I took a member of staff with me.
Wow.
After about 4 weeks, we employed somebody full-time and then another part-time member of staff. And obviously we're in like clockwork within the first week of opening, really. And so we looked at other means of selling, and we went on to Amazon. A year later, 2012, in October, we launched our e-commerce site. And then in May 2013, we expanded the warehouse, doubled in size, so it's now 20,000 square foot here at Nelson. We've got new offices. We've employed another member of staff. Last year, we turned over £2 million from a branch here at Nelson, and all the money's been reinvested into the business, mostly into stock. We've stocked just short of £500,000 of stock here now, and 3/4 of that is branded DJM. And DJM is a brand that we started from scratch just over 12 months ago, and it's going from strength to strength, really.
And the branded stuff, is that a mix of everything, or is that one particular area?
It is a mix of everything. We have people in the UK that we currently use who source it in from China, and we have somebody independent who has contacts out in China that bring it in. So we bring in the containers direct to our warehouse here.
Okay, so is it solely online at the moment, or is there a trade counter even for people to walk in off the street?
Someone can walk in off the street and we can purchase something here, but 99.9% of our stuff is done online. We're an online business. That's what we're set up for.
Yes.
We sell through eBay, through Amazon, through our own e-commerce site. And then more recently, we've just been approached by Groupon. So we're just touching base with Groupon at the moment, and we're looking to try and get in with Voucher as well.
Yes.
But then those latter are completely different than eBay and Amazon e-commerce.
Mm-hmm. You've done the more traditional evolving. You've started off with one of the marketplaces like eBay. You've seen that has had some traction in its early days. Then you've thought, there must be more to it than this. You've moved on to Amazon, and then you've moved on to your e-commerce site. So you really are the perfect example of a successful multi-channel seller, there's no point in having a £500,000 of stock sitting in a warehouse and only making it available to a third of the people that are buying online. So having it for eBay, Amazon and your website all at the same time is crucial to getting those number of sales. Have you found the synchronization of all the stock quite a hard process? I take it it's all synchronized from some sort of back office, and if it sells on Amazon, it deducts from eBay and deducts from your website and vice versa?
To be perfectly honest with you, Patrick, we haven't got that in place as yet. It's something we've been looking at. I think Channel Grabber were one of the means you can do that. It's something we are looking at. But at the moment, when we actually purchase the stock, I'm not just saying it, we never ever run out of stock here. We never run out of stock. And if we do, we're very on the ball. But we very, very, very rarely run out of stock because of the amount that we actually have in. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying about having some background that can control all three sites, which is something we're definitely going to be looking at, definitely.
Yes, it's an area which is up and coming. There are several companies in the UK that do it very well. I sell women's shoes in a bricks and mortar retail shop in a small town in Northern Ireland. And I also sell all of that same stock that's in the shop on our website, on Amazon, on eBay, all at the same time and all synchronized more than anything because you've got parent and child variations of products. Yeah. So there's size variations and color variations. So it's very hard for us not to have that synchronized properly, more than anything because in the shoe business, you order 6 months in advance and you really would only bring in a certain number of products and it's very hard to reorder again. Just the nature of that particular business. So we find it essential, and every business, yes, strives towards that. There are programs out there, some are more costly than others, where you can have it all synchronized, and it really makes life so much easier whenever you crack that nut. So I know we're all striving towards it, and you have an awful lot going on, so I'm sure that's on the to-do list at some stage.
It definitely is.
You've got such an entrepreneurial side to yourselves. Obviously, you haven't just stood alone and become passive. You've gone out and then started to bring in your own products.
Yeah.
Have you seen that as a key part to your growth?
Absolutely, definitely. We've started off with products that other manufacturers were doing. What we find is there's ways and means of finding out who's selling what on eBay and Amazon. And what's been happening is we've been taking a risk. We've been buying like 100 units of a certain product. We've been selling that well. Other competitors see what we're selling. They go to the manufacturer saying, we want this product. They say, yes, okay, you can have it. There's no loyalty to us. It's a bit like a dogs eat dogs world out there. That's what I've found. And what happens then, they undercut you by £1, and then somebody else joins in, and before you know it, you were selling something at £100, and now you're selling it at 80. And to get away from that, with DJM Direct, nobody else can sell it. We sell that direct to the end user. It doesn't get wholesaled. So if you want a DJM Direct product, it's unique to us, and we can hold the margin on it.
Yes, and many times the quality is probably better than a lot of the brands, the established brands that perhaps become mediocre as years go on and just accept what they've always had. That's
right. Although we're a new brand, I must be very, very clear about this, that these products that we've got, because some of them have got plugs on, they've been in the market for 3, 4, 5 years. We've sold them. We know what the returns rate is, which is more or less non-existent. I don't want to be selling things and having problems and having things back. It's not how we work. Everything that we select from DJM is a very good product, and it's priced right on the market.
That's brilliant. And funny, I was thinking that as you were talking, because here in Northern Ireland, I've helped a few businesses that are actually big bricks and mortar home and garden centres with trade counters, and several of them also deal with the whole area of tools, and it is very tight. The margins are very, very hard. In fact, some of them don't even sell their tools online because they feel that they can't make any money at it.
That's very, very true. We started off selling power tools. I mentioned that earlier. Less than 1% of our stock is power tools now, and it was nearly 100%, when we first started up, because the power tool market, the margins get smaller and smaller and smaller. There's some very big companies out there that deal with the power tools, and we just can't compete against them and make money. So there's no point selling things when you can't make money.
Yes, and then there's other nice areas, especially in the area of home and garden, where summertime might be very busy for certain things, and then wintertime might be busy for other things. So there's always plenty to be doing in the home and garden area. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, there definitely is. The only thing is with seasonal products, you're relying on the weather. And in England, I don't know what Ireland's like, but in England, it's very unpredictable. We're selling parasols at the moment. They're going all right. But in previous years, we've sold sledges, snow scoops, rock salt, heaters, done really, really well with them.
Yes.
And bought them in again, and it took us 3 years to get rid of the stock. So you've got to be careful when you're buying seasonal products. You've got to be willing that you might have to sit on that stock for a full 12 months. It might not sell.
Hey, listen, you don't need to tell me that. The man is sitting with thousands of pairs of sandals hoping for the good weather to come. Because obviously that's what happens. You have a good summer, you get excited, you buy all your sandals for next year, and we're on the 10th of June and we've only had 1 or 2 good days the whole year. Yeah. So it's part of doing business. So of all the marketplaces, Jed, that you do currently sell on, do you have a favourite? Do you prefer eBay? Do you prefer Amazon? Do you prefer your own site? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I've got 2 thoughts really. Well, eBay is what we get from what we put in, what we charge us, and what we get back out of it. eBay is our one that I prefer personally. But going to the future, e-commerce is what I'm trying to push more and more and more. I want people to come onto eBay. Basically, with Amazon and eBay, we have certain rules that I don't agree with. Amazon especially, certain rules that I don't understand. And your business is in their hands. Anytime now, eBay and Amazon, they could just turn around and say, right, you're not selling on here anymore, Jay. And I've got £500,000 worth of stock that I'm stuck with. I think they control you too much. So e-commerce is definitely looking towards the future. I want people selling on that, but it's $1 million question. Why are people going to go on your own site when they can use eBay and Amazon? But that's what we're up against.
Yes, but it does come with its own challenges. Positively, you as a seller, certainly you're right. You don't own the customer on eBay or Amazon. It's a very cold way of saying it, but ultimately they own the customer and they are in control of the interaction that you have with the customer. Whereas if you can in some way manage to draw them over to your own site, you can then follow all of the traditional marketing tips and to follow up with your own email marketing campaigns, your own offers, whether it be daily, monthly, deals of the day, deals of the month, and continue to sell to those people that you've sold to before. So you can do so much more on your own site. It's just a question of people moving across to that. Now, that is possible, and it's an important part of the strategy. And the way websites are being built nowadays, they're just as secure, they're just as easily to navigate through as the likes of eBay and Amazon, who are showing us all the perfect way to engage the consumer. Yeah.
Well, there's 2 things there. The first thing, when I was talking about eBay and Amazon, the way they can change and dictate how you sell as well, a perfect example is we used to be on the weekly deals on the eBay front page. Now, they promised us we'd be put on the daily deal of the front page, and I bought a full container of steam cleaners, and during that time of ordering, they turned around to me and said, I'm no longer having an account manager, because we used to be able to bring somebody up on a daily basis, and because you haven't got an account manager, you can't put things on daily deals. So that stock still came into my warehouse, and I was stuck with a 40,000 foot container of steam cleaners. I sold them through Amazon, but that's not the point. It's just an example of where they promise something and you're doing something well, and then all of a sudden they've changed the goalpost. They can just change things when they want.
Absolutely. Overnight it can happen, and you can be scratching your head wondering what has changed. And there is talk out there at the moment in the internet circles that Amazon are about to do another update, which will affect how our listings are shown. So you're right. It's about being able to bring the people across in some shape or form to be able to market to them directly.
Yeah. Well, what we tried to do recently in the last few months, we've actually just slashed 10% off everything from our own website. So we have 3 different price points because of the charges. When we load something, Amazon, it costs a little bit more. eBay, it's a little bit cheaper. If you go on our site, it's 10% cheaper than the eBay price. So we're taking quite a bit of hit, but we don't get the charges, so it works out about right. So that's what we've tried to do. We tried to slash 10% off all the eBay prices. That's what we're trying to do to get people onto our e-commerce site.
Absolutely. And the website is www.dmgdirect.com, am I right?
Yeah, it's djmdirect.com, that's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it now, and it's actually very clean and crisp and nice. You've got all of the right messages there for the consumer. You've got your free UK delivery. You offer next day delivery too, and you've got all sorts of weekly offers going on. So Yeah, we'll invite our listeners to head on over there and have a look at it. It's really crisp and clean and nice, so I'm sure you'll do very well with that. What about the marketing of your own site? Have you engaged yet with Google AdWords or product listing ads or any of that type of thing to help promote your site?
It's been very, very tough for me personally because I haven't got massive experience in the SEO, so I've had to trust different people, and I've had 3 different people in the last 18 months who have come in, promised the earth, and not really delivered. The last one's been good, but we've struggled with the first 2. So we put money into Google Ads. It's not really worked for us, but again, it's trusting a third party to do it. The only thing we've done in-house, I mentioned we got a 10% discount on everything on our site. Every single person that buys through eBay or Amazon gets one of them. It's a nice coloured leaflet. They open it up and it says 10%, when you come onto our site. So
yes,
that's the only bit of marketing we've done ourselves. But like I say, a third party have looked after our, our Facebook, our Twitter, and our SEO. That's been done by a third party.
Yes, the way I try to explain it to the local retailers here that really haven't delved in at all is that eBay comes with its commissions and its costs, and Amazon comes with its commissions and costs, sort of as a ballpoint figure, if we say 15% for that. Well, on your own website too, eventually you'll end up spending the guts of 15% of your turnover on your marketing, split between your PPC campaigns and your SEO. And SEO is definitely a slow burner. It's getting you up there with the right search terms that you want to be found for, whereas the Google AdWords and Google Shopping feed is very much for the person who's going on to Google and is ready to buy. And it is an awful lot of the businesses that I deal with on a daily basis would be like yourself and say, everybody comes in, promises the world, and you're the one that fits the bill for all of these mistakes. So you have to be very careful in who you select. Thankfully, over at sellingonlinetoday.com, we have a whole list of resources for online sellers to be able to find those types of services. So we wish you luck in that. I personally find that product listing ads are very, very useful, more than anything, because with so many people shopping on their mobile today, if they're looking for a particular item, whether it be a beach garden umbrella or anything like that, if they put that into their mobile phone, a product listing ad, as it used to be known, now it's known as Google Shopping, the actual image will appear there. So you can have your product next to the big players like Next or any of the big multinationals and still have that chance for the end user to click on your ad. And I found those very good, at least in the area of women's fashion. And for some of the other retailers that I've been helping, they've had better success with that. But you just have to set a daily budget and not allow yourself to overspend or get too excited.
Yeah. With the SEO, what's happened there with us is we were putting money into it and not getting any return whatsoever. Well, not whatsoever, but very, very little return.
Well, it is traditionally a slow burner, the SEO. It takes a while for Google to keep indexing it properly and to get the search terms up that you're trying to be found for. So it is a labour of patience more than the Google Shopping. What about sponsored ads within Amazon and eBay? Have you looked into that yet?
Again, no, that's not something that we've looked into, but it is something that we definitely would look into. I have seen it, I know how it works, but like I said, we've just been that much things going on that it's something we should be looking into, definitely.
I help a large furniture business based in Ireland, and they would be working with Oak Furniture, their own brand, a bit like what you're doing with some of your products. And because they're creating bespoke brand names for some of their oak furniture, they want that to appear next to the main, more traditional brand name. So if someone is putting that in within Amazon, they're paying a sponsored ad to appear next to it. And that's worked very well for them, because Amazon would say, well, you don't need Google ads because we already have the consumer ready to buy. So right. You want to make sure that you're up there with the others that appear. So it's a very exciting area within advertising market of your products. And eBay have just announced now that they're starting to do it. They're rolling it out on a limited basis. Actually, their model is going to be even better because they're only going to charge you when someone actually purchases, as opposed to when someone clicks on the ad, which is the way the likes of Google and Amazon operate. But the cost per click within Amazon is much less than it would be on some of the search terms within Google itself. But hey, listen, we could talk hours on that whole area.
Yeah, definitely.
It certainly is a big part of the conversation for sellers like yourself that are doing large volumes and want to continue doing so. And that needs to be a big part of the focus when it comes to the marketing is spend versus results. So interesting and fascinating. And we'll be watching that space very carefully. Just moving on then to yourself, Jay, you sort of got into this business in an interesting way. Do you enjoy the whole area of e-commerce? How do you find it since you've started with it?
I enjoy the e-commerce, yeah. I mean, I can load other products on the site. I can find my way around it. eBay was more my thing because, as you heard before, I started it up. So that was my baby, so to speak. And my brother, he was more like the Amazon. He got Amazon up and running. It's learning every day, but my knowledge only stretches so far. So sometimes I get a little bit frustrated that I didn't have more background information, or I haven't got really someone to lean on who can tell me on a day-to-day basis what's actually going on. Again, just going back to it, it's trusting a third party that I haven't really got a relationship. You know, that's a bit that I don't like, putting so much trust into somebody, giving somebody money and then not actually seeing any physical return. That's been the hardest bit for me. But yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's been a massive, massive learning curve. I've learned so much. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
What would you say that your strong point is as a business owner?
One of my probably strong points is that I'm into making profit, not turning money over.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of business owners, we just start chasing turnover. We don't realise all the costings, the carriers, you know, damages, returns, everything else that goes with it. Here at this business, we get audited figures every month, so we know exactly where we're up to. And if something doesn't look right, we can go and have a look at it and tweet it. Where you see some of these other internet companies, they come on the market. I can see from a mile off they're selling things too cheap. We're not making any money on it. They're here 1 minute, they make a lot of noise, and then they're gone the next. So going back to the original question, it's, I think, my mindset on making net profit.
Yes, which is so key. And there are an awful lot of businesses that are selling online that aren't making any money. As you say, they come, they make a big splash, and then they're gone again. So it is about having that long-term viability and keeping an eye on the margins so that you can actually make it a profitable business. And it's all about making money in the end. So if we're not doing that, there's no point to it.
No, definitely not. Like you said, you just touched on the cost. I mean, the Amazon costs are just so high, what they're actually taking from us. So
I know it's one of those things, you hate giving it to them, but you know you have to because there's so many people shopping there.
Exactly, that's it. I mean, the other thing with Amazon as well is we've sold a lot of certain products into Amazon, and then they've noticed, they've gone behind our back, contacted the supplier then supplied Amazon, cut us out, and we've been left with stock again. So that's another thing to watch out for Amazon doing, definitely.
Yes, and you know, in the Amazon circles and those who sell on Amazon will say the biggest competitor within Amazon is Amazon itself, because they have all the data and, you know, they can see how many of your product is selling. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Hence the importance, I suppose, if you have the resources and you have the time, is to create your own product. And then if they do come looking for it, they're coming to you.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Hopefully, Patrick, it'll work out.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best with that. What advice would you give to someone starting off in this complete network of e-commerce?
First thing to do before you do anything, before you load a product, get the eBay and Amazon calculator. What this does is you put your cost in, you put your carriage price in, you hit a button and it tells you what net profit that you are making. I've got that of everything we sell here. I know exactly to the pence what we are making. And then load it, because with that many people just load it, thinking they're making money, but find out they're not. So from the start, make sure you're making money. If there's lots of products out there already, it's going to be very, very hard. You need something unique to sell online. You need it unique to yourselves. That's what I'd advise to do.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's got to be unique. Otherwise, you're kind of behind. A lot of companies have got like 10, 15 years experience. If you're starting from scratch, it's going to be quite difficult to catch them up.
Yes, you're absolutely right there, and therefore you'll find even a lot of the really big brands, even in the world of fashion, the likes of Hugo Boss now have their own shops on eBay and Amazon. The likes of Karen Millen, all of those big names are all selling directly to Amazon. So it's quite hard to compete if you don't have something of your own. It is important still to have some of the big brand names, but certainly having something of your own long term will work out more profitable.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, definitely.
If you had a magic wand right now for your own business, what would you love it to do for you?
I think the main thing is to have one carrier that came in at a night, took all our goods and delivered it next day at a competitive price. At the moment, we use 4 different carriers. As well as being in the hands of eBay and Amazon, you've got the carriers that they dictate. Sometimes they stop delivering certain things for you, you know. So we've had to pick and choose what carriers we use. And everybody's on the same boat. We've been through so many different carriers, but at the moment we're using 4 different ones. So I had a magic wand. It'd be for one carrier to come, we fill up the Arctic and off they go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the one that I recommend to sellers over in Ireland is one called dispatchbay.com. And that's like a portal where all of the different couriers are on board and you can just put in what you're trying to deliver and it can sync with your Amazon and eBay listings. I believe that's an area for the couriers that are working on to try and make e-commerce sellers more efficient in their whole delivery process. So I believe that'll get even better as the years go on.
Yeah, that sounds very good, as long as the price would be right.
Yes.
Because with a third party doing that, I don't know whether the cost might go up. So that's the only reason I've not really looked down that area at the moment.
Yes. Well, absolutely. Jay, it's been fascinating chatting to you. You're a big player in the online space. You're doing over 2 million in turnover as we stand. It'll only stand to grow. So it's been really inspirational to be able to talk to you. You've given us loads of value, nuggets of wisdom, as I would call it, for our listeners. And that's something that money can't buy. You know, no book can give you the experience of chatting to someone who's in the thick of it day on day. So we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be able to chat to our listeners, and I'm quite sure they'll be thrilled with it. Just remind our listeners then the best way to contact you if they wanted to touch base personally. Is there an email or a Twitter handle that they can touch base with you with?
Well, if you go onto our website, www.djmdirect.com, on there it takes you straight into our Facebook and our Twitter accounts. But if you wanted to email me direct, it's jay@djmdirect.com.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we appreciate that. We'll put all this on the show notes anyway on Selling Online Today, and our listeners can head over there to find out all of the exact addresses if they're out and about now and just can't write it down. So I appreciate that, and we really want to thank you for taking part in our show.
No problems, Patrick. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Thank you. We'll catch you again.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take the time right now to go to sellingonlinetoday.com and gain instant access to tons of free resources to help you in your online selling journey. We'll see you next time on Selling Online Today.